Okay, everybody, so here we are at my super high-tech worm bin. Okay, now I have a little bit of issues because this thing is getting full and then I need to add my other stack. But I don't know if you remember, but I didn't add just normal worms. I also added some night crawlers, and them holes ain't big enough for them big old night crawlers, even though they're pretty big and they would be big enough for like babies. I think I'm gonna drill them holes a little bit bigger, and then what I'll be able to do is I'll be able to take off that lid and stack this on top and put some more stuff in it. But since I don't have any chickens or nothing, look at my mice and my bacon pub burger garbage. Okay, the bags anyways. But I got some different stuff in here, and I'm not gonna disturb my worms. Now I do put layers of grass clippings in there and things like that, so along with like because not all my coffee grinds are going to my peach trees, but there are stacks of just grass clippings and stuff, because you want to make sure that there is some organic matter in there that the water is going to flow through when it rains, because you'll notice I have got these little holes in here that it lets this container breathe, but it also lets water in here. Okay, oh, so look what we got going on down here. Okay, so this is why I'll put a layer of dead grass in between here, and what this does is this catches the worms to keep them, because this lid also has holes in it, and the moisture, all the moisture that goes in through here. Look, I had some sort of mushrooms drying up on here, guys. It looks all goofy. Okay, look at that. It's like art. Weird, isn't it? Okay, I had a weird mushroom growing up in here the other day. I should have taken a video of it. But anyways, I put this to catch, ooh, it's tippy, to catch the worms, to keep them from just falling and drowning into the water underneath, okay? So I'm going to have to stop this, but what I'm about to do is I got my handy dandy little container mobobber that I just sliced the look how nasty it is. I even have bugs growing in there, guys. This is my life right now, okay? But it doesn't matter super much because I'm about to dip that into some compost water. I'm just trying to not let this all... What's gonna happen is I'm just gonna set my tablet down on here for a second so I can use both arms to lift that because it's heavy. Okay, so this be catching up some of the worms and some other little bugs, because they'll be like, oh my gosh, guys, there ain't no water dripping in here. What the heck? I went through all this to fish out my water and there ain't none. So what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to actually put some water in through here. Okay. I feel gypped. What the heck is going on? Cause see, I have all them holes up there. Okay. There's no water. So I'm gonna have to actually take the hose and put some water gently in through here because I want to get compost water for my Siam Body perennial celery. So anyways, I had an idea of how this video was gonna go, and it was gonna involve me fishing out some super stinky, nasty water and putting it into my little jug and feeding my Siam Bodies, but you know, sometimes things just don't work out, guys, and I don't rehearse these, and I didn't check this ahead of time. Okay, and the reason why I thought it would have water in there, despite me not putting tons of moisture in through here, is because we got so much rain, but also partially you can see these holes up here are small, okay? And I'm guessing my critter has been working hard in there. So even though it's going to be a little bit awkward, what I'm going to do now that this is full, I'm literally just going to set this thing up on top of here, okay, and start filling this with stuff. And even though there's like some edges and things, it's going to work out okay. And then I'm going to put the lid on top of here, okay. And now the issue that I'm going to be running into is it's getting kind of heavy. So I don't want to like collapse that hole too underneath because it's not super heavy. And these are also really old because I started these during the winter, actually. I started my worm bins in October of 2017 when I was living at the little cabin in Michigan's Upper Peninsula. And I actually moved these in a trailer along with my other stuff over here. So anyways, that's how that is going. What I'm going to go ahead and do then is mix up some, I'm going to mix up some yogurt and water and molasses, agricultural molasses, and fertilize my sea and body because it's just kind of sandy over through there. My sea and body are just not growing. They were growing good in the pots. We've been getting tons of rain and they're just like not doing super well. And I think what it is this dirt is just not super good. I don't know, the weeds seem to be doing fine. And then one of my other tasks on my to-do list today is to go ahead and harvest, because I already pulled tons of stuff in through here earlier, and you can see it's like you can't really tell because it's starting to turn brown, but I actually had done quite a lot of weeding, especially right next to the beans and stuff, because they were getting overshadowed by these amaranths. So these are maybe a little bit mature. Like I waited a little bit too long because look, they got these seed pods and everything. But I'm gonna go through and harvest these, and I'm gonna see, like, if I would have gotten these when I was younger, these stems would have been even more tender. So I'm probably gonna stir fry one of them later and see how I like it. But I'm gonna harvest them and refrigerate them for now, and then a little bit later in the day I am going to go ahead and process them and set them back as food, because look, I mean, I just like, it tastes good. It's a vegetable. Okay, it's just wild amaranth. So there's also no reason for me to be buying a bunch of frozen spinach and stuff like that for my smoothies, and I'm getting away from unfermented greens anyways, so I've got to decide what I'm going to do with these. I'll probably freeze some that I can add to like my pasta sauce and things like that to beef them out, or to like put into my meatballs. But I might end up drying some of this, and I'm probably going to make some ferment out of some of it, since I don't have any homegrown cabbage. I did buy a couple more green cabbages from the store to make more sauerkraut, since I've already been going through it at a decent clip. But I'm probably gonna, I don't know, I never made kimchi out of amaranth before, so I'm gonna look up some recipes. So I got to do that, but I want to get that harvest done so that I can get a more thorough weeding done through here without just like basically destroying all these free vegetables. Okay, so we'll see how it goes. The Peyton is out here with me. I got to go check on my potatoes and see if those did anything, and if I got to cover them with more straw. And it's actually really hot and sunny now, and we'll see how the day goes. But it's looks terrible. The weeds all look terrible, and I've been just trying to, I've got so much stuff going on. I'm just trying to like slowly just like keep the immediate areas by my vegetables clear, and it's only sort of working out. I still haven't planted my Good King Henry into the ground yet, but at least I put it in this really big deep pot that's got potting mix and like old leaves and stuff in it, so they're still growing at a pretty good clip. Yeah, I can't believe, like, the sea kale took so long to germinate and everything, and it was growing pretty slow for a while. So the fact that my sea kale is so big, and then my sea and body have barely even changed size since I put them in here. Obviously, I didn't necessarily pick, because these like a lot more moisture, so I do need to go get some mulch for them and things like that. And this is just the soil, it's not doing super good. I think mulching these guys will help. We've gotten so much rain that I have actually not watered this stuff at all. Well, I watered this area like once, and I watered this like a couple times, like early after I put them in, and then I haven't watered them since in like weeks. I think it's been weeks. Okay, so these sea and bodies just haven't grown at all. But wow, I'm like, so these over here are sorrel. I haven't actually tasted this yet, and it looks like this also has a little bit of buggy type issues, but I'm gonna have to see what I'm gonna do, because if I want to do a nursery, I can't be selling diseased plants. So it's a little bit tough in that I may not be able to manage an actual no spray operation. So we'll see how it goes. We'll just have to see. these two are like kind of, the Peyton loves the Josephine, and she's just too dignified for his rambunctious self. And he has really stinky farts, okay? He's a really good kitten though, and she's doing all right. She was a little bit sick for a little while, and then she finally vomited up this terrible hairball with a big bloody chunk, and sometimes she don't chew her food. These rodents that she's been catching, sometimes she just like swallows them, or like just partially crunches their head and just eats their heads off and things like that. So the Josephine is a savage hunter, and she's been paying the price a little bit for that. But she's doing a little bit better now, and we'll see. I need to check in on my giant chinchilla rabbit situation today, because the seller was supposed to get back to me, but because they're having such sort of tragic family issues, I don't want to be too imposing, because obviously making $180 off of some flippin' rabbits while they're going through these hardships is should not be the priority for them. So sometimes people do occasionally need a break from their other hardships, so I might check in with her today to see how the rabbit situation is going. I'm not super worried about it, because I was just going to pick up the boy the other week, and then I was going to be picking up the 2 girls in another 2 weeks, which is about a week from now. So we'll see, but I'm slowly feeling ready for my birds to show up. I have to build more structures for them and things like that, and I know I'm just babbling a whole lot, but it's because I'm exhausted, because I woke up at like 4 a.m. and then I ended up going back to bed and then not getting back up until later. So it's like almost noon, and I'm just dragging. I have my dishwashing servant is hard at work, and my laundry washing servant was working hard earlier, and my hot water heating servant is still functioning all right, so I feel pretty lucky about that. But anyways, y'all, I'm gonna see also what I can do with these rocks and the clay, finishing some clay and rocks down here, and we'll see how it looks. But so this area, I wasn't super worried about. I didn't get to till under it before I put this stuff down, but I knew that I was going to just be able to salt this area. Now here I've got like my peach tree and stuff, and so I am actually going to have to get my cultivator out and whack some of this stuff back and actually clear this dirt off a little bit before I put the gravel down on this area. Okay, because some corners are just not worth cutting, because you'll end up paying for it later. So that's part of the reason why I'm been putting this off and didn't put my rocks down on here, because the clay pack is only going on the incline, and then the flat part will just have some rocks, but I need to go buy more at some point. Anyways, I hope y'all are working towards whatever your goals are in life, because other people aren't going to work towards those goals for you, for the most part. Okay? Just make sure you're exercising your own personal power to help create a life and a world that you want to be living in. So we'll see. I got some kombucha cooling down on the stove. I'm going to add some more. I feel like my vinegar starter is doing well enough that I can add some more sugar water to it, so that it'll be super ready when, oh my gosh, look at this violence. This is what I'm talking about. I have to go picking this stuff up. It's just a headless body, because the Josephine been crunching heads, okay? There's like a baby bird over there I gotta go pick up that still has its head intact. It's just no longer alive. It's like the Josephine is pretty savage. I'm thinking about getting a little bell for her, because she's fed really well, and I know she's just like doing what cats do, but it's just sad because I want the mice inside the house dealt with, and then she was always doing it backwards and bringing the rodents from outside into the house. So we'll see. I saw this beautiful moth earlier that I was showing the guys, but y'all missed that. That is actually not a monarch, that butterfly that just flew off. It's something else. It's real pretty pattern on it. But I'm happy, that little area with the lilies that's kind of naturalized over there. I put that in years ago, with a vision that one day I would have a little pond next to it for my ducks. And it's taken a while for me to actually get from here to there. And so my pond liners, I've got 2 20-foot by 25-foot pond liners coming in. I don't know what kind of poison those may or may not be coated in before they arrive to me, so everything in my world I have to treat with caution, and it's really upsetting. But they were supposed to be arriving the Tuesday right after I ordered them, which was supposed to be, I believe, last Tuesday. So that Tuesday came and went, and what my Amazon orders page, because I did get them from Amazon, okay, which is, I shouldn't have done that, but it said arriving Tuesday since I ordered them, and that Tuesday came and went, and it just still always said arriving Tuesday. It hasn't changed, and so I have no idea when they will actually be showing up or not, but they did recently change to saying that they've been shipped. So those will hopefully show up, and then I need to buy a ladder, because I've decided, rather than carrying a ladder over from the neighbors or trying to see if somebody will drop one off for me to use, I need one anyways, and so I need to just go ahead and buy one, but it's tough because I was hoping to go pick up my ladder with my truck. This thing, my plan, because so much of the issues with this thing, like it basically followed right after having gas from a little podunk station put into it, plus a bottle of Lucas that was put in the oil and in the gas. So again, when I put some fresh gas and some seafoam in it, it was working good for a little while, and then it got all screwed up again. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be siphoning the gas out of this truck and mixing it with good fuel into my other car and burning it off, and then trying to get a completely fresh tank of gas in this thing to just start there to see what it may or may not need. So it's going to be a little bit sketchy. I got to actually put some more fresh, good gas in my car before I try that, because if it was something to do with the gas, because again, I don't even know for sure if Laura Dell did something to sabotage the gas on multiple occasions. Okay, so I got to be really careful trying to burn off that gas in my other car like a cheapo instead of just discarding this old gas. So it's going to be a little sketchy, but I'm going to do like 1/3 of this stuff into 2/3 new stuff on the other car. But anyways, look at this. Whenever I walk around in my overgrown but curated lawn, because again, I am going to go through and I've pulled a lot of these Queen Anne's lace. I'm going to go through, pull more of those, because those kind of make my yard look crazier. I mean, the sea of these little plantain flowers also looks crazy, but I just love it. And this yard even this grass didn't get this way on its own. I was lucky that they put in some shorter grass in here, but I have intentionally gone through and seeded a whole bunch of plantain and more clover and all sorts of different things. I've gone and seeded into this yard, in addition to the clover and stuff that they put into the yard. So it's kind of nice. I mean, some of it is not always so great. So this chicory, I put this chicory in, which, chicory root is great for roasting and making coffee-like beverages with. But the one thing that I will say about chicory is it has a super deep taproot. And so some of it ended up underneath my weed cloth and stuff. And that stuff will just shoot up right through the weed cloth and the mulch. It's got just a real heavy root on it. So anyways, I know I'm just babbling, and I'm going to let you guys go. I didn't have any coffee this morning as well. I'm kind of dragging ass, and I'm not planning on having any. And I was down to one, home rolled, home shredded cigarette a night. It wasn't even every night. It was one cigarette every other night or something like that is what I'd gotten down to. But now I have to get serious about trying to get my health together, and trying to get ready for whatever the next stage of life here brings me. Okay, so we'll see how things go, and I'm wishing you all well. And as I have said in the past, is the way that we do this is that our enemies are sitting at the same table and eating with us, whether or not you like to acknowledge it. Okay? And we're just keeping you from stabbing us at the table. So I'm wishing you all well too, and abundance and joy and actual deep satisfaction and fulfillment in your lives. Okay, that's why so many of you are caught up with all this criminal, lawless, retarded shit, is because you have no joy or satisfaction and you don't know how to feel gratitude, and you got all these issues that you got to work out. If you want to actually understand what it's like to be able to find joy in a drop of dew, okay? Take it easy, you guys.